Welcome back to part 2. It's time for the hot tags of the week. Some different rumors, stories, news, or anything else that's going down in the world of pro wrestling that we should talk about. And there's a couple really important things and a couple that are just kind of blah, but let's mention them anyway. I think this one's kind of old news by this point, but it's worth talking about. Finn Balor has injured his ankle at an NXT live event. It seems like it's not that big of a deal, and it doesn't seem like there's any reports going around that he's in jeopardy of not wrestling at Dallas or anything like that, but you never really know. I haven't heard much information about the severity of it, just that he didn't wrestle at least a couple events here and there. What do you guys think about this? Have you heard anything else of any information of how bad it is or how good it is or any of that kind of stuff? Let's tag in.
Nobody. Moving on.
Nobody has any thoughts whatsoever about if this is going to hurt Finn Balor's chances at...
My understanding, they already got all the tapings pretty much all the way up to Dallas done already.
Right.
It's really not even that bad, it looks like. This is probably not even going to be a factor of anything other than missing some house shows, which they could just have Bayley come out and do his entrance for him. So we're good.
That was kind of cool seeing her do that.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. So yeah, I mean, that's a good thing that it might actually be better in the long run if he's not wrestling on these live events. Maybe that's going to kind of stop him from injuring something else in the long run.
Yeah.
I like that idea.
The last thing I saw about him was that he was getting an MRI on it, and that it didn't appear to be as serious as what it could have been. It was an ankle injury, I believe, which is always a very weird situation because with ankle injuries, it's very easy to re-injure. Like, when I was younger, sprained ankles with a bunch of people I knew were like the depth of them pretty much. So hopefully it's nothing too serious. And yeah, like Peyton said, they already have all the tapings up or close up to, Dallas. So they shouldn't have anything to worry about with them. Just take an easier schedule when it comes to their touring pretty much and let them heal up.
So how many weeks out are we from the next takeover? I haven't looked it up recently.
Well, it's
2 days before WrestleMania.
Yeah,
so
okay, that's right.
I believe it's on April Fool's, so
Okay.
It's almost 2 months away, pretty much.
So yeah, I'm guessing he's going to be back in time for that. From what I've read, it's nothing super serious, so hopefully he'll be tip-top shape by the time that comes around.
Just sucks to hear that there's another injury. Like, damn, man. Something's going on with this. Something's in the water backstage.
I think the biggest thing worth a note of this is that the injury he got is likely because of his finisher. I would be surprised if he starts incorporating a new finisher starting at Dallas.
Well, if you say that for him, what about Del Rio? It's pretty much the same exact thing.
Yeah, but it's all right if Del Rio gets injured.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't mind.
It's actually very different. You see how much air Finn Balor gets when he jumps in the air? Del Rio just kind of steps down.
That's true. And
Finn Balor leaps all the way in the air.
Yeah. And I was never a big fan of Finn's finisher anyways. If you were to introduce something new, especially if they end up doing this Balor Club thing that, they got the copyrights for, I'll be completely fine with it because I always thought that his finisher was kind of lackluster. It didn't seem like something a top star would use.
Is there anything that you guys would like to see him do? Because I've felt the same way. Like, his finisher is fine, but I would have liked something better.
I don't know. Is anybody doing a super kick right now?
Is it finisher? No.
I don't know. Just his finisher would be a great setup move, the move before you do the finisher. I just always thought it was a weird finisher.
No, I mean he's gonna do the coup de grace, it's a finisher or it's not. You don't do a move like that and not finish with it.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of people that have multiple finishers. Like, Undertaker used to do the power bomb, used to do the tombstone, he's done the Hell's Gate. Like, that could be one of his finishers for the people that he can't do the other finisher for. Like, if he's fighting a Mark Henry and he can't pick him up, then he could do the coup de grace.
Or a perfect situation for it was the ladder match in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
If he's in some type of aerial match like that, or maybe even an elimination chamber where you can jump off a pod. Something good to bust out then.
I've never had an issue with him using the double foot stomp. It's believable. I mean, this guy is jumping in the air and driving his feet through your fucking chest. It's a pretty legit move.
Well, doesn't he still fall back though? As soon as he touches them.
Well, you say this is pro wrestling, and when you're working with someone, you try not to kill them.
I get that. I understood that, but that's the only reason why I don't like it. It doesn't look believable when he just falls back when it's done.
Sometimes
he has to fall somewhere.
I get that.
He's just gonna land on them and keep standing? Is that what you want him to do?
Or here's the thing: if he lands on them, then goes forwards, the guy's gonna fucking face plant half.
No, it doesn't look like it hurts when he falls back like that. It just looks like he's
Drew,
putting his
if you
calf
have to
on it.
fall back, where are you going to fall? If you have to fall, you fall towards your back. That's the place you're going to
Especially where you can catch yourself on the ropes.
Exactly, and you got your nice little cushy butt to fall back on.
Tell you what,
It's all the natural direction.
Tell you what, Drew. You lay on the floor. I will stamp on your chest and fall back and tell me.
No,
if it
I'm
hurts.
just saying that the move, it just looks weird. It doesn't look like it would be as...
All right, Drew. Better yet, I
devastating.
got a better example. Let's drop you off the top of a building, and let's see if you want to just land straight on your ankles or if you want to fall back somewhere.
We're all gonna
that anyway.
we're all gonna gloss over the fact that Peyton described Finn Balor's ass as a nice little cushy butt.
All I'm saying is that it doesn't look believable as a finisher. That is all I'm saying. And Finn Balor's the type of guy, he's very versatile. He's one of the best wrestlers in the company. You could easily use anything else with him, and it would be fine. I just didn't feel like it was that good of a
I
finisher.
just like to point out that you defended the big ending once.
The beginning. Did I defend it?
You know what would be cool is if Finn Balor had different finishers for if he was regular Finn Balor or if he was Demon Finn Balor.
Yeah.
He could have the nice big cushy ending.
Does he have a submission finisher yet?
I don't think so.
That's always something.
For that matter, wasn't Hideo Itami's finisher something similar to the coup de grace? I don't remember.
No,
now that
yeah,
I'm thinking
he
about
used
it.
the same fucking move.
He did have the coup de grace as his finisher too?
Yeah, they were both tag teaming too, so they used to both do it on the opposite corners. Like they want to do it to Connor, want to do it to Victor.
At least he's got the GTS that he could do.
And he can take back his move off Daniel Bryan, unless they think it's going to be too similar to Nakamura's.
Well, let's move on to a different topic here. Talk about a different sort of finisher. This is something that a lot of people are blowing out of proportion, I think, but AJ Styles has reverted the name from Calf Killer to Calf Crusher. People are bitching online of like, oh, PG era, I can't fucking say killer or whatever like that. Isn't it just called a Calf Crusher to begin with? Not like like if you've got like the Power Bomb and you call it the Last Ride Power Bomb. Wasn't it originally the Calf Crusher?
I don't know, but I don't remember him ever killing anyone's calf, so that's what the problem is.
Plus, it's like, who cares? Calf
sounds-
Killer, Calf Crusher.
It sounds equally as cool.
Right.
It's not like they called it the calf fluffer.
Yeah. Well, I think he even made a joke about it, the calf hugger or something like that. The calf cuddler.
He's a rat's ass. It's one of his weakest finishing moves. I hate that move.
Yeah. So it's like, quit your bitching.
It's like, use the Styles Clash and use your Spiral Tap and everyone's happy.
Yeah, Styles Clash is his main finisher. I don't think anybody's going to be really upset about this. And you know what? If they really friggin' hate the name Calf Crusher for some reason, just deal with it.
Well, so hang on. If he doesn't call it that, they're going to rename it something like the Styles Lock.
Yeah, that's true.
God.
Yeah, please don't do that. Calf Crusher is better. We had a couple releases over the past week, and some of them don't really matter. Magno, I don't know who the hell that is. Sylvester Lefort, Marcus Louis, Bull Dempsey. I think that if we have anything to really say, it's probably about Bull Dempsey. Wago, I think it was you that said that they were the most upset about Bull Dempsey getting released, right?
Oh, I was an advocate for him getting released. I've never seen the appeal to him. I think Payton's more of a big fan of him. As far as Magno goes, that guy was a luchador. He wasn't bad, but by no means was he, like, magnificent.
I think Sean was the biggest
Magnificent.
defender of him.
Hey, that's a gimmick. He might have stuck around if he used that.
Yeah. I don't remember hearing anything about Magno. Actually, I don't even remember who the hell the other guy is. It was like some generic name or something. But Marcus Louis and Sylvester Lefort were people that I was just like, these guys got to get released at some point this year. They seemed like they should have been released last year. I'm a little bit surprised about Bull Dempsey. I thought if he might last until next year, but I can see it. I mean, he wasn't really doing all that much and all that. Peter Howard is the other guy. It's like, huh?
Oh man, Peter Howard.
Peter Howard.
Aw.
He was the master of the Howard Lock.
Now, honestly, I'm not surprised to see any of these guys go. I was never super hot on any of them, so good luck in your future endeavors.
Peyton, any thoughts on Dempsey or the others?
I think there's still room in wrestling for the big fatties. And we don't have many big fatties. You got Kevin Owens. That's really about it. And I don't really consider him a big fatty because he doesn't move like a big fatty. He doesn't wrestle like a big fatty. He just happens to be a big fatty because he eats too many chocolate chips.
Say Big Fatty a couple more times.
I want more big fatties. I want John Tenta back.
You want the fattest of the fat?
Reanimate his corpse, put the Golga mask back on him, and let's get John Tenta back.
Well, maybe Bull Dempsey would have kept around if he would have been putting on that golden mask.
He could be Bulga.
Damn, I want to see this now.
Just stick it on Nia Jax.
Drew, you gonna miss any of these people?
Not really. I mean, I can't remember the last thing Sylvester did since the Fatal 4-Way takeover, so not really. I don't care about any of them. I thought Bullfit was interesting. I thought he would be around longer, but they just weren't seeing it, unfortunately. So, not gonna miss any of them.
Apparently, Bull Dempsey is going to be going by the name Bull James on the Indies, which is just like, oh man, that's so sad.
Man, like, the Bull Dempsey character worked when you had William Regal reacting to him.
Yeah, like the eating chips in his office thing.
Like, they need to pair, like, if they could have paired those two up, that could have worked, because Regal works in whatever position he's been in.
It's a shame they didn't have another big fatty to team up with him as like a tag team, just like the two big guys. Like when Peyton brought up John Tenta doing the whole natural disasters thing. Like that would have been kind of cool. Bull Dempsey plus some other dude. They could be like.
I don't see like room for just a single star who's that body shape, but a tag team. Yeah, because that's more of a shtick for two guys to have. I like that.
And that guy could have been some other like big burly animal. Like it could have been like bull and like. I don't know, like elephant or hippo or cow or one of those kind of things, like Cow Dempsey. You know what I mean? I would have been up for that. Why not? Especially if the rumors are true that Enzo and Cass are going to come up to the main roster. Those guys could have filled in a spot. I don't know who the fat guy would have been. I don't think they have any other fat guys. Maybe Peter Howard was fat. I don't know.
No, you know what you could have done? I tell you what you do, bro. You take Bull Dempsey, and you got this new star, Shinsuke Nakamura. You team them up, and you call them Bullshin.
Sad part is I actually kind of would have popped for that.
Damn it, Tony.
WWE has applied for a trademark of, quote, The Revival. No information whatsoever about what this is, if it's like a nickname.
How can you trademark that?
I don't know. That's what's so weird.
Generic. How could you trademark that?
Because like something like WWE Ride Along, okay, you can do that because it's got WWE in there. Or like Legends House, okay, but The Revival, and it's like, is it going to be a nickname for a person? Is it going to be a network show? Is it going to be some kind of new pay-per-view? Like, I mean, any ideas of what you guys would like this to see?
Sounds like a network special or possibly a faction name. But as far as, trademarking something, it is a kind of a generic sounding term, but when you trademark something, you have to do it within a certain context. So it'll be within the context of sports entertainment or wrestling or sports in general. Because, like Apple, I mean, it's just a fruit, but Apple was able to.
There was actually a really big court case about that they had to settle. So you can't.
Oh, with Apple Records. Apple Records, right? Yeah.
So bad example.
Oh, no, because. Oh, God damn it.
Well, if we start seeing The Revival Records, then we know something's up. WWE applies for a trademark of the Revival computer system.
Maybe they're just getting ready for when Ric Flair keels over.
I mean, I would think out of anything, this would probably make more sense to be a nickname for somebody, but I can't think of a network show that it would be. Like, unless maybe The Revival is like a behind-the-scenes thing where it's like, okay, well, The Revival, this week we're going to talk about how we're going to bring this person back from injury. Or like, this guy was a disgraced wrestler and he's really like low on the card, and this is his story to get back up to the main event. Like maybe that kind of would work, but
I've got it. I've got the perfect show. You take DDP and he just finds old broken down wrestlers and tries to revive them back to their former glory, even if they don't want his help.
I got it. So you remember for NXT Arrival, and then they had NXT Rival. So now they're gonna have NXT Revival, and they're just gonna take that same logo and just like amend on it.
I could see that happening.
That actually sounds legit.
I'd be perfectly okay with it if it pisses Tony off again.
Oh man, that's gonna happen now, isn't it? Let's talk CM Punk. Obviously, MMA is not the same thing as WWE, but he's an old WWE guy, so it's good to keep this kind of in discussion.
Emphasis on the old. You
Yeah.
fuck.
Oh.
Yeah, you need the revival. His first fight has been delayed again. Back surgery this time. A herniated disc, if I remember correctly. Wago, since you're the MMA guy here, does this make you just think that this is all bullshit or bullshit?
I'd want more time off if I just watch my opponent destroy somebody in 45 seconds. I think this might be a strategic move on Punk's behalf. The guy he's fighting... Yeah. He probably does need surgery. I'm not going to deny that, but it was probably something he could have put off.
He's probably going to get that thing removed off his back he's been complaining about.
AJ. But I think he gets smashed on his debut just because of the guy they paired him up against. So keep running, Punk. I hope you win, but I don't think it's going to happen.
Anybody really, like, at this point now, they just think it's all bullshit? And a lot of people are saying maybe this is just all a publicity stunt, and that's why he keeps delaying it, that it's just, let's try to make as much of a hubbub as possible and not actually fight. I don't think that's necessarily the case, but it is getting a little bit ridiculous at this point, you know?
I don't see why it's taking him so long. I mean, this is a guy who is in wrestling ring shape. He supposedly has trained in lots of martial arts. How long does it take to get ready for your first fight? Especially if you could just be like, all right, well, put me in with a jabroni so I can get used to being in the octagon.
Normally most gyms won't let you fight unless you've had a year's worth of training. So you should be
we're
ready.
Well beyond that.
Yeah, depending on how long he was out injured for, but he's not. It's not overly dramatic if someone's done it for a couple of years before stepping in there. Everybody has their own timetable.
Yeah, but he also has a time clock that he has to worry about.
It's true, but at the end of the day, it's not signing up to just go have some fun. It's signing up to agree to fight somebody in a cage. It's kind of real as it gets.
How disappointing is it going to be for the people that really want to see this if it's like another year before he fights and he gets his ass kicked and then doesn't fight anymore?
Well,
where it's like it's like a 4-year process or whatever like that, and it just sucks.
Dana White said he's actually going to leave it up to Punk if he wants to fight again if he loses. So, we might actually see a couple more Punk fights.
What if he just ends up doing like 3 fights, loses them all, and then he's just kind of like, hey Vince, can I come back now?
You don't think he's burned all those bridges?
Oh, please. Hulk Hogan testified against them in court.
He has a point.
Yeah, all right.
Hang on, Vince has got more old and bitter now. Titus touched him.
Oh, God.
Yeah, let's start getting into this. Titus O'Neil has been suspended for 90 days just for pulling Vince McMahon and horseplaying a little bit. God damn, man. 90 days. He's missing WrestleMania. He's missing all the stuff around WrestleMania. Like, I mean, he wasn't really going to wrestle at Fastlane probably, but WrestleMania Access, the Monday Night Raw after WrestleMania. The story that has been going around now is he showed up at SmackDown and they told him to just turn around and go the fuck home, which is just like, shit. Batista apparently is saying that he is telling Titus that he should just request his release. So, I mean, they're good friends, so Batista's probably really pissed about that. Now, there's been rumors going around for a while that WWE wanted Batista to come out for WrestleMania 32 at some point in some fashion, and that he wanted to be a part of the product, and he was just kind of like, well, I don't know. I gotta imagine at this point, he's probably like, no, fuck you if you're gonna do that to my friend. So that means we're missing Batista for WrestleMania potentially too. There goes his push, there goes all that money, and it's for horseplaying.
There's got to be more to the story that we don't know.
I mean, 90 days seems like
overboard,
extreme. I have a hard time. I believe he's suspended. I don't believe 90 days. I think that's something that got...
I wouldn't be surprised if Vince is that pissed off. I wouldn't be surprised if he wanted to make Titus miss a WrestleMania payday.
You don't even have to do 90 days for that, though.
No, but see, they could suspend him for 90 days and then they could just lift it after WrestleMania.
Or you know what they could even do? Just not put him on the show. It's not like you have to have all your talent there for WrestleMania. You're not required to do anything. You can tell
Wouldn't
them
it
to stay home that weekend.
Wouldn't it be great if they're like, all right, so we're going to try and get as many people on the card as possible. And they're like down to the last few. You've got fucking Goldust and Bo Dallas and Titus. It's like, yeah, come on, Bo.
He's just like, I knew I'd make it. Well, I mean, there's the Andre the Giant Battle Royal. Pretty much everybody gets in that.
I figured that would be his role. Yeah.
I actually thought that he was a good potential chance at winning it this year.
Not anymore.
Damn right, not anymore. I mean, there's, of course there's speculation and stuff like that, so we don't know for sure exactly what's going down. But the thing that I keep seeing on the most amount of websites is that this was a message to send to the people that are goofing off too much lately. Where it's just like, well, Titus O'Neil happened to be the wrong man at the wrong place, wrong time, to just like, he did that one thing that got under Vince's skin, and it was like, you're the example. And,
So we've all seen the video at this point, right?
Yeah, what does everybody make of that? Because to me, it just looked like Titus was just palling around like, hey, Vince, I got you.
It looked almost to me like it was an unintentional grab. Because, I don't know, it just seemed awkward. But Vince looks like he kind of, turns around and then smiles and turns back around. And Triple H smiles.
To me, it seems like he was maybe trying to stop him just to say something quick to him. And then he, got offended and pushed him back or something. I'm not really sure what to make of it.
And we always joke about, Vince likes to fight people, wrestle Kurt Angle on a plane, fight Kofi Kingston. Apparently he doesn't want to fight Titus O'Neil.
Maybe he was just trying to stop him and say, hey, this was a great thing you did for Daniel Bryan. Just stop him for a second. And then, oh, fuck you, buddy.
Yeah, it could have been.
Man, you'd never have someone fight on a plane now. Wrestling's so lame.
A private plane, maybe. Set up a ring. But yeah, I think that this 90-day thing, if that ends up being true, that's way too overboard. Unless there's some kind of weird thing that happened backstage, like he said, get your hands off me, and he was like, well, I'm, fuck you, old man, or something like that. Then it would have been like, okay, you're starting to really push the limits here, but it didn't seem like it was that big of a deal. And 90 days for a suspension for that is like, shit, people get less for wellness policy violations.
Exactly. That's what I was thinking. There's got to be more here that we don't know. We don't know the whole story.
Does anybody think that Titus O'Neil actually is going to get released in some fashion?
I fucking hope not.
Or request his release?
I don't like him, but I don't want to see him fired or even punished over this. Unless there's something more to it that we just don't know.
You know who I bet's behind this? Michael Hayes. I bet Vince walked behind the curtain and he's like, Vince, you gonna let that freaking guy touch you like that? And then started making a big deal about it and convinced him in his ear to do that. I think some cooler head is gonna bring this up again and they're gonna rediscuss it. We might even see Titus back on TV as soon as Monday.
I would assume Triple H probably is just kind of like, this wasn't a big fucking deal. It wasn't a big deal, Titus O'Neil.
It happened right in front of him. I mean, they're all walking.
Maybe someone just made fun of him for being old, so he had some chip on his shoulder about being macho.
It could be. I mean, we did see that thing with Roman Reigns a couple weeks ago. That was, a scripted thing, but it's, a lot of times that stuff can actually come out. He might feel that way. He's getting up there in his age. He might feel like he's breaking down a little bit and kind of, I gotta prove myself, and somebody tests him a little bit like that, and it's like, hey, fuck you, I'm the boss. I don't know, but that sucks for Titus O'Neil, man, because this is the worst time for you to possibly get suspended like that. The WrestleMania payday is huge, and you don't have all these people on the card, and he could have gotten that Andre the Giant spot. So that's nuts. Either way, if we get some more information about that, we'll be talking about that over the next couple weeks or whatever the case may be. Maybe if we do see him on Monday night, that'll be something that'll be interesting to see what he does on Monday night. If we hear about him getting released, obviously we'll have that report. Or anything else that happens throughout the week, leave those comments below. Tell us what you think about what's happening, and we will continue on in part 3 with the rest hold. And after that, we're going to come back with our main event, Superstar Scores, Daniel Bryan. So click on part 3, everybody. Check out what we have to say there, and then we'll continue on.